Hello, and welcome to this episode of Make It Your Own Design Academy. My name is Cynthia Akita here, and today we're going to talk about boundaries. All right. Now, boundaries are important for every facet of life, whether it's a relationship, whether we're building things, whether we're driving, like we have, the separators and the lines down the road for boundaries, and those boundaries help with our safety and keep things flowing in the right direction, so on and so forth, right? So, boundaries are very, very important for everything that we do in every area of our lives. Now, they are especially important when you're designing something. So, when you come to your graphics, it's important to have some boundaries set, especially in the area of margins and spacing. So, here you can see my Canvas screen. Again, welcome to Make It Your Own Design Academy. And let's just say that we want to create a graphic. The background is nice and yellow, a nice mustard color. And let's say we're bringing in a shape. We're going to bring in a square. And oh, well, look at this. I see some purple lines that are popping up. Now, this tells us that the object is in the center vertically and horizontally. So vertically in the center here. Oh, there's another box, but we'll get to that. So you're vertically in the center here, and then you're horizontally in the center, despite which point you're at. Horizontally, you are centered, right? So again, now this box over here, as you can see, it extends around the entire document. It's a margin. It tells you, um, well, if you would like to use it, you want to stay within that space. You want to keep your design inside of that box. But as you can see, if you're not moving the object around, those lines, those margins don't show up. So I know sometimes some of you may feel like, you're creating something, but then you're just placing it all over the page without a clear system of a line that you're following. Okay, I'm putting everything on the left side, or I'm putting on the right side, or I'm putting it in the center. And so you find yourself having a lot of inconsistencies in your design. And people can see that because their eyes are following wherever you're basically telling them to look. So the first thing I want to show you is positioning. So as we have this object here, when you click on position at the top there, it opens up this panel. Now you have the option of aligning objects in a variety of ways. Top means the top of your page, as you can see there. Left, the left of your page. Middle, that's your horizontal middle. And then center, which is vertically, sorry. Then you have your bottom and then your right side. So these are there to help you so that you don't have to guess where the center or the middle is, so that you could get things perfectly aligned, right? But at the same time, it's not respecting um, that boundary or that margin, sorry, that is placed here on the page. And so what you can do is Canva gives us some really cool tools. If you click on File and go to Settings, Show Rulers and Guides. That is one. Let me X out of this. And with your rulers and your guides, you can establish where you want your objects to be by horizontally. You see that up and down, like arrow cursor. You click and drag it down to wherever you want it to be. And with these rulers, you can choose like an exact spot. So the purple highlight that you see in the box, you can choose like 402, 403, whatever the specific measurement you need. You can actually choose that and create a guide there. So I'm going to go back to 400, and then I can do a vertical one as well. And then I'm going to do that um, at 300 mark. All right. So there you go. And then let's say I want to put all of my objects within this. So the great thing about these rulers and margins is that it will not necessarily snap into place. Well, actually, technically, it is snapping into place, but if you want it to, it literally lines it up there. Let's add some text. They have a title here. Sorry, I'm going to change the alignment there. And then let's say you want to, do something here, and here it's aligning with the center. But what if I want another ruler that's literally on the other side of the box? Actually, let's move that a little bit more. Right, I'm doing this without any type of calculation. And so you can see here that the text adheres to that line. Let's add some body text there. I'm just gonna type some random stuff just to excuse this unfortunate sound. All right, so I add some text there, and as you can see, it's all aligned. There's no guesswork there, right? And so if you didn't check it out, I can actually align the bottom of my text box to the bottom of that square. If you see that dashed line, it's almost snapping into place. So that feature is available. Now, let's open up a new page and let's get rid of these rulers, which you can just click and drag them out. And then we're going to go back to that original margin that Canva has on every graphic, every document that you create. You want to go back to File, Settings, and then Show Margins. So it's a faint color here, but you can see this rectangle here that kind of allows your graphic to have some breathing space on the outside. So again, you definitely want to keep that in mind as you are creating your graphics because it allows your design to breathe. Um, it helps guide your readers. As you can see, I'm just playing around with this margin here, creating a little bit of a banner. And then I'll add in, just so I don't have to be slamming on my keyboard again, I'm gonna duplicate that up there. I'm actually gonna copy this and just paste a couple of times. And then let's say this is what I want to do. I mean, granted, I don't necessarily have to extend the text all the way. I could do it halfway, which it'll pop up. There we go with that halfway um, mark. Then I can grab another photo, you know, align it there. Then, do whatever I want to do basically. So these margins are here to help you, again, with setting some boundaries for your design. You don't want things to be placed like, I mean, unless you are a designer, you know what you're doing. You don't want things placed here and then something random. I'm really bad at making like really bad stuff. So if this doesn't look terrible to you, I'm sorry I didn't make it bad enough. But you want people to be able to follow, what you're doing, where you're going, and all of that. So, like, something like this could be very chaotic for someone. But if you actually select them all or select that with whatever's on the left-hand side, go to position and then hit left align, it actually puts them all together and then you can drag it all over to that margin to make sure that they're inside the area that they need to be in. Obviously, parts of these are outside of the area, which we can always drag back in and, fix and work on. But those margins are there. They are your friend. They're there to help you. And you would definitely want to take advantage of them just to make your designs look a bit more orderly, a bit more neat, and ultimately for you to get a better response out of your audience. Now, another cool thing is if you go back to File, Settings, and then Add Guides, you have the option of creating, some columns and some rows, a grid if you needed, so that if you wanted to create, um, let's say you wanted to depict like a shop kind of vibe on this graphic, and you wanted each box to be the same spacing, the same width, the same height, all of that, then you could literally create a guide. So what I'm going to do is click on custom. And here we have 6 columns, which is fine. But the issue here is the columns are literally spread across the entire um, page, and it ignores the margins that are set there. So I'm just going to eyeball here that the margin begins at the 100 pixel mark. So what I'm going to do for the margin, I'm going to put 100. Sorry, that's 1,000. And then you'll see I'm just a tad bit off, but it means that the equal spacing starts from close to that margin, and I don't have to like guess my way. Let's try 110 and see if that works. All right, so I'm still just a little tiny bit off, but 110 works far better than the 100, right? So I have my columns. I'm gonna have 2 rows there. And then again, I'm gonna do that same 110 margin. That way, again, I have my clean space around here, and then I can focus on these boxes in here. So I'm going to actually, do I want to there? Let me make these gaps smaller. So the gaps are these small areas in between each box that you want to create. So I'm gonna do 10 and then 10 here as well. Sorry, keep forgetting about that extra 0. And then 10 there as well. And then I'm gonna add the guides. Now, as you can see up here, it says the guides are added and they're locked. That way you don't sorry. That way you don't accidentally drag them as you're, designing your graphic. But it did give the option for you to unlock them there. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and do a photo. As you can see, it's locking into that grid that I've created. And then I'm gonna finish adding that photo. I'm cropping it just a little bit. Gonna make it just a tad bit smaller so that we can see her face there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add some text. Gonna move that text over, make it a bit smaller. And we're going with that same like store front type of vibe for this particular graphic. So put the title here, and then we're gonna have the body text. And then again, the body text, but then it's gonna be for the price. So we're just gonna put 250, make that bold and make that a bit bigger. All right, so I'm gonna copy some mist from here. And then we're gonna put that in for the body text there. Actually, I want the title to be just a tad bit bigger because the price is big. And that's, let's say that's your, um, like how you want your shop to appear. I'm actually gonna add a button shape so that, again, it's like snapping in and it's highlighting to ensure that it's snapping to the right line. Gonna add a box here. Might actually round it around the corners. I'm gonna change the color to white. Gonna make it a tad bit smaller actually. All right, so put that there. So if you're ever wondering, this is not actually centered, right? But that's because of the spacing that is underneath the text, and that's just a normal thing with text boxes. So sometimes I just take the arrow on your keyboard, the down arrow, and just hit the down button once or twice until I feel like visually it looks like it's in a good place. So again, you can drag all of these things at once, and it's a good thing that we locked, or it automatically locked the margins, because if it had not, we would have potentially been moving them around as I'm just selecting things, right? So you can just duplicate and then snap it into the grid there. Or another thing you can do is hit Option. After you select everything, hit Option and then click and drag it over. Now, if you want it to be in the or keep the same alignment, then you hit the Shift button. That way it'll stay like, you can't see that I'm trying to move up and down, but I'm trying to move up and down, but it only allows me to go horizontally. And so when you hit Option, you click and you drag the direction that you go in after you hit Shift is the direction that it'll allow you to stay in. So for example, I'm gonna hit Option, click, and I'm going down, right? But once I hit Shift, if you didn't see, it locked me into that same position that the top version is in. And then I dragged down and locked in with those margins. And now I've released and it's there. And so these are going to be aligned. All these three are going to be aligned as well. And so I'm just doing this to show you guys what, margins can do, what alignment can help you do, because it helps to bring order into your designs. And order is good, especially if you're not used to designing things. You want to make sure that people can easily follow what you're creating, the text, the photos, because if you're not careful, it can be very chaotic. And if someone is looking at something that's chaotic, it's very hard for them to make a decision because they don't understand what exactly it is that you want them to do with the information that you've provided them with. And that's if they even understand the information. So you definitely want to make sure that you take advantage of these free resources and additional features that Canva just naturally provides us, thankfully. And so, yeah, that's what we have for today. You also have the option of showing a print bleed, so I just want to make that clear. And then in terms of how our margins were locked, or our guides were locked, you can actually unlock it here, or you can get rid of them altogether here. And when you get rid of the guides, it's not going to erase your design. So I'm going to clear the guides. As you can see, it's still there. I still have the margin here that's showing to guide me as well. But it stays there for you to see, like your design is not affected in any way. It's just like a visual thing for you. So I hope that that was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Please like this video. Please share a comment about what you thought and let me know what else you want to see or what you struggle with, so that I can also create a video to help you out. So do that, and please be sure to share it with a friend. All right, you guys, have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Have you tapped into your pharmacy benefits? As a beneficiary, you unlock special offers, gifts, and always stay in the loop. Subscribe today to receive your exclusive dose. Visit pharmacybenefits.com.